Okay, all right. I'm back. Can y'all hear me now? Can y'all in the chat room hear me? Okay, great. Why would you throw your life away like that, man? For real. Why would you throw your life away like that? That's I don't understand. Why would you throw your life away like that? Now, just know that the state of Kentucky is one of the few states that have not decriminalized marijuana. They haven't done it. It's insane that this dude would throw his life away like that. His NBA life. You know what? You guys let me know what y'all think. I'm putting a link in the chat, man. Hold on. I'll put a link in the chat. You guys can come in and tell me what y'all think. This is crazy, man. For real. That's crazy. Hope everyone having a good day up to this point. We trying to keep things going, right? Who's up in here? Cherry Smoot. What's good? You see who else? Soup Knight, Courtney Washington, that guy Spencer. Nathan, what's good with y'all? Alex Heron, salute to you, man. You know what I'm saying? James, what you got on this, bro?
Man, salute to you, big brother. Salute to your chat too. Man, this is crazy, man. What the fuck? Hey, explain it to me. What happened? What he got caught with?
He got caught with 3 pounds of weed in a book bag in the backseat of his Honda Pilot.
This nigga here. When he was still a dope dealer, this nigga crazy. You making millions of dollars. You already done fucked up a bag trying to bet on yourself, letting that the face ass. Look at him. He already look like he smoked crack and mad. Look how skinny he look on this picture. Boy, look like he
With
done
him and
lost
all
it
that,
all.
man. Look at his lips. I mean, that motherfucker lips black as goddamn match like charcoal, bro.
Black and mild smoking ass niggas, man. These niggas here be tripping, bro.
He
Now
probably
listen,
got burnt fingertips and he probably got burnt fingertips and all that right now.
it's cool to make side money. It's cool to do your thing in the off season, but you have to move smart, especially when you know you don't have the laws to get away with a lot of things because it's not legal yet in a lot of states. For 3 pounds, my nigga, you gonna sell that shit to somebody. You gonna give it to one of your little homeboys so you can make some money and keep your ass relevant because all the money you missed out on. I could be wrong. I could be right, but I'm just telling you on the outside looking in from coming from that life how it is when people make it big, bro. And that shit ain't right, dog. That shit is not right. Montrezl, this shit gonna hurt, bro. And like I said, we can't keep feeling sorry for niggas who keep putting themselves in these type of positions. You's $1 million nigga, man. You don't have to do that. Send somebody to get that shit for you. You know what I mean?
Hey, Terry, cut your camera off.
You don't have to be out here like you still a dope dealer. You got to be touching that shit like that. Montrezl, you was $1 million nigga. You could get anybody to go do anything you want. It ain't nothing illegal as long as you ain't getting caught with it. And if the dude get caught up, you know you sent him out there, help the man get a lawyer, bind him out. But stay off the weed, man. For real, bro. That's all it's about. He anxious to smoke. But who need 3 pounds of fucking weed to smoke? 1 pound good enough for me. Cause you know how long that shit'd last if I was still smoking out here in these streets? Well, it should have lasted me damn near 6 months. Going to work, I ain't never there to smoke it anyway, but just to relax my mind, what you need 3 pounds for riding on the streets that's not legal? I don't feel sorry for my trash LB. He
It's
gonna
not, hey
look.
man, it's not smart, bro. This
That's
shit
not
is
a
not
smart
smart.
move. Thank you. He about to feel this, and then he, like I said, you already bet on yourself and lost a lot of money doing it that way. Now you got to kick out lawyer fees. You saying it ain't legal in Kentucky. I don't know how strict their laws is like down south. They'll throw your ass away if you got a quarter pound of weed, nigga. 20 years. If it's over 28 grams, nigga, you're gone. This nigga got
Facts.
3 pounds. 3 pounds. Oh my god, man,
No,
fuck my
that's
trash,
And
yeah.
man.
then And
The
then
only thing
on
that,
top of that,
oh, go ahead.
then on top of that, he wasn't even smart enough to put the thing in the damn, put it somewhere to where they needed a warrant. He
He
had it out
needed
in
it in
plain
the
view.
trunk. You got to put it
So
that in
when
the
you got
trunk.
out in plain view and you give them probable cause, then guess what? They're gonna
You know
arrest
this
you
dumbass
and
nigga
then
though,
dismiss
LB,
the car.
probable cause probably he ain't use a blanket. He was too high, trying to get some water with his cottonmouth ass. You understand? You done did something, made the wrong turn, jumped in front of somebody. Police be everywhere. Cameras is everywhere, dog. So like I said, man, and then I'm gonna go. Y'all go to the next one. He done fucked himself with this, bro.
Yeah,
He
bro.
done,
No,
yeah, he
no,
done messed himself over.
Yeah,
you're
man,
good,
that's
James.
crazy, bro. All right,
I want to,
hey,
I
hold on
want
real
to
quick.
speak on this
Terry, hold
because
on real
I
quick.
know.
Hold on, Terry, real quick. Hey, James, hold on the chat, man. Man, somebody blowing up my damn phone, man. So I gotta take this call. So
All right,
hold
go
it
ahead.
down.
Terry could go right now. Go ahead. We gonna hold it down. Thank you.
Is there, what's up, James? I think we're both from a little bit. If you're from Southern California, Los Angeles, within this area, like, I mean, I've had homies that did this. The only thing where you know he can't beat this is if he had a scale in the bag, because then that you already know that's intent to sell. So even though 3 pounds of weed, that's basically distribution. So he's going to get hit with a potential distribution charge because no individual, like in California, you're allowed to have an ounce of weed, 28 grams. Anything else more than that, or if you're found with a scale, automatic sales and intent to sell with
Yeah,
distribution. Oh, that's real time.
distribution.
And
Thank you,
I've had
Terry.
home. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've had homies that they've done time because of that. They got caught with that kind of stuff. But I mean, I gotta agree with both of you guys. This is retard. It was a dumb move, very stupid move. I don't know. My only question is, was he traveling through state to state, or was he residing there and he purchased this? Like
You know, that's
that.
a
That's
RICO
my.
act too, Terry. If you going from another state to another state hitting that
And
highway,
yeah, you get,
that's a whole
and plus you
trafficking
get
RICO act.
that's Rico, and you get interstate. You get the interstate because you're going from state to state with the product. So I mean, unless he's got a great lawyer, he's gonna have to say something and just say, where did he pick this up? Why did he pick up this amount? What else was in the bag? Because if you got 3 pounds of weed, to me personally, as I've had friends that have done that, 3 pounds, and if he had a scale or any other accessory, dude, that's intent. That's intent to sell, distribution. That's everything. That's Fed time, and that's a few years in the Fed for that. So it just looks bad, and I don't even know like how his money looks, but lawyer fees and everything else like that. I know he's gonna try to pay so much to stay out of jail, but how does the NBA look? Because in the NFL there was a player who used to be a Dallas Cowboy. His name was Patrick Hurd. He was a wide receiver. Patrick Hurd got caught in the same thing. I think he had like 5 or 7 pounds of weed, and he
That's
also
all you
got found
talking
with coke.
about. He threw his
Yeah,
whole life
he was
away.
and he was making some good money, playing with the Dallas Cowboys. And then all of a
Number
sudden, I
17.
guess, yeah, he was like number 17. Then he switched to like 84 as well. He switched numbers in between the years. And I remember and he had the bald head and everything. And I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, like what happened? And then I guess I saw on ESPN they said that he had like weed, cocaine. They found scales. I'm like, oh my god, like he's doing time. He literally had to do time. And so Kentucky, out there, certain southern states, like they don't really play that. And depending on where he was found in Kentucky, it might be a heavy Republican, a red kind of county, and those kind of prosecutors, the DAs, they can make a charge stick. Like for him, he's fighting for just staying out of jail because I don't know how the NBA sees this. That's definitely substance abuse. They can hit him with a drug test right now, a piss test. Any kind of nanograms per milliliter that comes out there, everybody knows. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm pretty sure the commissioner knows, certain athletes, when they're done with the season, they probably like to puff, but they keep it in house, you know what I mean? To get caught like this on this big a scale, 3 pounds, a pound is what? A pound, wait, 16 ounces times, that's 48 ounces of weed. Come on. I can't, I don't know what kind of lawyer, you can't even make that personal use. Out here in California, we consider up to an ounce, 28 grams, as personal use. Like that don't make no damn sense. You know what I mean?
Dog, Terry, that sound like he was doing that shit to make money off of. I'm not throwing that out there for to try to convict him or do nothing but say, bro, anybody that's going to score that type of weight is not for no consumption use, my nigga. I'm just being real. Either you
No, I'm
going to
with
get
you.
that to one of your little homies that's hurting, that was helping you out through the season, get by, whatever you was talking about doing, or just to make money on the side. Now, some of that shit you was going to smoke, 'cause we could tell you smoke. Don't get it twisted.
Right.
At the end of the day, why do it that way and wait till the off season to do it? You see what I'm saying? You all the traveling you do throughout the season, going to different cities, playing. You could have did that shit any kind of way and got away with it. Why wait till now? So how long he been doing this shit? It just so
That's
happened
gonna
now he got caught. This dude probably been doing shit like that.
and true, true, and that's why I said like when it goes in front of a case, or when because this is definitely going in front of a federal judge, and I wouldn't want to trust going in front of a federal judge in Kentucky. You know what I mean? With all this evidence, and then like I said, like I understand he got caught with weed, but with accessories, like for us in California, if you live out here in California or even on the West Coast, you're found with the scale included with that, it's cooked. There's nothing you can do. That's automatic felony. That's why I wonder, like, if he's caught with the weed, I can say that this is for distribution. You're trying to distribute and intent to sell. But then I could possibly hit you with the RICO. I need to find out where you purchased the weed. Like, did you get it here in Kentucky or are you bringing it from a state over? Because then that's going to be interstate commerce charges as well. Like, that is, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how the NBA does it. I know the NFL, like with something you could smoke in the NFL. You know what I mean? You get a 4 or 6 game suspension. They found out you smoke lower, but that's not even that bad. Like 4 to 6 game suspension, you're losing game checks. But all besides Patrick Hurd, and he's the one that I remember the most when it came to drugs. Dude, this is gonna look very bad. You know what I mean? Like I don't. He should just even be. I don't know. To be honest with you, I think he's gonna have to do some time. I don't know how you can't beat this, you know what I mean?
It depends, by him being in the NBA, a lot of connections. They could get some kind of way sweep it under the rug. But me just seeing him bet on himself, losing the money, that's why you have to do what you're doing. Me on the outside looking in, me doing that shit all half of my life since I was 13, 14, 15, till I decided to quit when I got that last charge and changed my life for the right reasons. But other than that, bruh, Montrezl Harrell is in a fucked up situation because, like you say, when you go on state line to state line and you on the road and you're not from there, whether you from there and you going home on the off season, we know you don't live here. You just visiting. Wherever your team at, that's where you're gonna have your compound at. You're gonna be living there until the off season. Like Giannis go back to Greek. So what if Giannis on the off season was going back to Greek and they found him with the same shit? Come on, man. You got to get the same smoke, like you said. They ain't give Patrick Hurd no chance to survive that shit.
With
Just like the
Patrick Hurt,
dude.
like that's why I said with him,
What
I was
about the
like,
dude
I
who got
remember.
into it with Gilbert Arenas? Look how
Oh,
the dude Chris.
Jarvis Crittenton. Jarvis
Yeah,
Crittenton.
look how they messed
Yes,
over him. Like, boy, when you a black dude doing that type of shit, only Alex Caruso type get a slap on the wrist. We know Houston down here in Texas ain't legal, but what happened to him? They swept that shit under the rug and everything. But they about to make a big old deal behind this Montrezl Harrell shit. Watch.
true. I can see this because I'm surprised, it's not being ran a lot. They did it with Patrick Hurd because they were talking about he's the drug dealer of the NFL. And I felt bad. And then we knew what happened with Michael Irvin. He got caught with cocaine in his house, but they don't, a lot of people don't talk about or even remember that. We remember that. I remember that. It was on like in 94, 95. He was caught with cocaine in his house. But then, when it goes to a grander scale, I understand that America, we're progressing to be more acceptance of weed. Hell, look at the NCAA. The NCAA just changed their rules now to where you can have 150 nanograms per milliliter of weed. Basically, you can smoke a blunt on the weekend and then go to practice, and it'll still be cool. Because I've went through several NCAA drug tests, and I was a
But
little
hold on,
bit
see,
pissed
but
off.
Terry, that's what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying, and I do get it. But we talking about for users, consumption use only. Like you
Right?
say, anything under 28 grams. This man got just caught with 3 fucking pillows, 3 elbows. Ain't no fucking way in the world you gonna tell me that's a slap on the wrist.
Nah, it can't be. And I know because of his status in society. You're a professional basketball player. You got you know what I mean. You got a lot of stuff. You got money and everything. But at the end of the day, the law is gonna have to be the law. And what I'm thinking on, like, if I was a prosecutor or a lawyer, I would just need to find out, did he have any extra stuff? Like I've been saying, if you have a digital scale or any scale, it's curtains. This is curtains right now. And that's why if he's only just caught with a backpack of weed, now that's just intent to sell, distribution, every and possible RICO charges depending and interstate. But it could be a definite, he could still fight this. But with certain accessories, if he's caught with, there's nothing you can fight. There's nothing you can do. And so, why? Why? And the next thing is like, I mean, I don't want to say you could have put it on a plane, like you could have flew, but damn, you know what I mean? Like, what do you? And I'm agreeing with what you said. He's probably helping out a homie. Trying to help him get out. Either get on his feet or you know what I mean. He's trying to give back or something like that. Even though he's gonna smoke some of it, but you see what I mean? Like to me, you don't need all that. 3 pounds. If not, have somebody. Weed Maps could deliver some stuff like that. You could have ordered that. You don't have to drive around with it. You know what I mean? That's that. Oh man, and then it's gonna make us, our community look bad. The black community, like, well, now it continues to promote the stigma of we're drug dealers, we're this and that.
Facts.
Like, come on, man. We got to do. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the NBA. I don't even know what Adam Silver would think about this. Like, he would probably have to personally interview him and ask him, "What the hell are you doing with 3 pounds of weed?" To be honest, because as a commissioner, I would have to say indefinite suspension. I would
Hold up.
have to.
Just another one, Terry. Remember Jamal Lewis got caught with the cocaine? What they did him? 2 years.
Right? Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, he went
Boy
to
had to
jail.
do
He did
two
go to
years
jail.
off of that shit. So what's gonna make Montrezl Harrell different? He black. Boy, they gonna make example out that boy, man. I feel bad for this dude right now because I really don't know Kentucky laws, but I can just imagine what they gonna do to railroad this young man. But like I say, how can we feel sorry for people like that when you put yourself in that situation when you ain't supposed to be doing no shit like that? Period.
True.
You a million
That's
dollar nigga. Ain't no fucking way in the world I'm riding around with anything. Man, y'all go get that shit. I'll pop you off 2, 3 bands for that shit. And then once they get back, here go your money. I'm not touching nothing. Don't give a fuck about
dude.
smoking or not. I ain't going to get it.
I would have did it like this. Like, we got. I mean, out here in California, I'm pretty sure nationwide. There's weed maps. There's dispensaries that can actually sell you pounds of weed and everything else like that. You might have to fork over 1800, but you could get, what I mean, per pound. But you know what I mean. You could do that, and that's a legal way. Like, if there's so many. Like, as a person who's had friends, like, if there were any open bags, if it was sealed, open bags, accessories, like, how it gets when it comes to drugs, it gets so intricate because they can add so many more charges. That's why I'm like, with me personally, I want to find out all the details because then I could come up with oh man, he's definitely fucked. Excuse my language, but oh man, he's definitely screwed. Like, if there's more stuff, even though we just heard about the 3 pounds of weed, there might be more. You know what I mean? Thank goodness he didn't ride around with a gun or any weapon because that's curtains. Now that's curtains. We're done with this.
Facts.
So it's just this is bad. And now I don't want to see the story ran a lot. To me personally, I just don't want to see that story ran a lot only because it's going to paint a negative light. Then it's going to bring attention to the NBA, like it was talking about with the NFL. Like, you have these retired football players talking about we were smoking blunts before the game, like Josh Gordon. Josh Gordon said that he was drinking a whole bottle of Remy and smoking 2 blunts before every game. I'm like, you got to get that loaded just to play. Even though he's a two-time, all pro, you know what I mean? But damn, like, people had to get loaded just to play. And so it's gonna be Rasheed Wallace. Remember, he admitted him and Damon Stoudemire used to smoke before games. So it's like it's gonna shed a whole light on the NBA because now you got a multi-million-dollar player and look at what just happened to him. It's gonna bring a lot of negative attention.
Well, well, Terry and James, me break something down to y'all because the NBA has an underlying problem they're not talking about. Now, if you remember, I've done subsequent videos about how you had all these players that were caught up in that medical fraud scheme with Glenn Baby Davis, and he out there violating his damn
Clinton Portis was the
terms of
NFL player in
agreement.
that too.
He out there violating his terms of agreement going to those during Boston Celtics games. Look at if you watching this video, Glenn Baby Davis, I got one question for you, right? Is Lucky gonna still be your lawyer, right? And two, are you gonna take your ass out to Boston to watch that NBA Finals game? You better not, because one more slip up and they're throwing them cuffs on you. They might have to go double wide on them damn cuffs. Now, so you had that, and then you had another NBA. You had Rajon Rondo in a domestic violence case where he pulled the gun on his girlfriend. You had that case going on. So the NBA got an underlying problem with all these guys getting caught up in legal troubles and all that.
That's the same thing with the NFL. What is it? Jerry Judy was caught. I guess he locked his baby moms out of like her own car, took the keys, and then was threatening to like do all this other stuff. That recently happened, with the Denver Broncos. Like, I understand it. As much as it is with the NBA, like the NFL is also as bad. You had a lot of players, like even Richard Sherman admitted that he smokes weed in the offseason, but he says that it's to help heal the body. And the NFL, like it's there's been a lot of stuff because I follow football a lot, and like I mentioned earlier, you have people like Josh Gordon admitting that he was smoking weed and drinking Remy Martin right before games. That's how he boosts up before games. I'm like, these are, but then he got into legal trouble as well. So I can say is it with multi-million-dollar athletes where they just go buck wild when they get this money and then they just want to buy these drugs and everything else like that?
Well, I'm gonna go at a different angle with this, right? Now, the book bag was in plain view. He got arrested, and the book bag was in plain view. That basically meant after they cuffed them, they was gonna go in there and do the search and all that, right? Now, I was gonna go at the Fourth Amendment. For those of you who don't know what the Fourth Amendment is in the Constitution, that's basically your right to. It talks about unwarranted, basically searching your vehicle or your house without a warrant. But there's some exceptions to that, right? If a police officer has probable cause, and in this case he did when Montrezl, he smelled weed, and then Montrezl pulled out the bag of weed out of his sweatpants and all that.
Did he willingly do that? Did he willingly do that?
Yes, he did.
Oh my God!
He was smoking weed and then pulled out the bag of weed in his pocket.
He burned himself. Even though he was going to get searched, that's an automatic. God damn, he burned himself.
Yep. Hey, just like he said, man, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, man. It's like, come on, man. Look, that car can smell things all day long. That don't mean you go, well, I did have some weed on me and all that. I mean, good on you for being noble, but noble got your ass thrown in the damn back of the paddy wagon.
And as an individual, like, you should have known, like, dude, they can't search the trunk without a warrant. You should have just kept it in the trunk. You take everything off your person. Take everything out your pocket, underneath your, in between your socks. Take everything out. Just put it in the trunk. They need an actual search warrant from a judge to do that. Like, they might have impounded the car and everything. They could have did some other stuff, but he could have skated. Well, not skated, but probably gotten a severe fine. Maybe took in some jail, like a limited jail time. But dude, from what I'm like, what somebody said in the chat, first time offenders with 8 grams to 5 ounces is a Class A felony in Kentucky. Like Class A felony.
5 pounds.
Yeah. He had 3. He's
5 pounds. More than 8 ounces, but less than 5 pounds. And
that's a Class A
felony. I talked about that in the early stream before you came in. It's a Class D felony with a 1 to 5 year prison sentence and a $1,000 to $10,000 fine.
The fine ain't nothing. It's with him. Is he gonna have to serve jail time? And
listen, that's the whole thing I'm thinking about. Because unless his jacket messed up, by him playing sports, they'll seal a lot of shit. He could get his record expunged, but the government will never forget that shit. So they'll try to run that shit concurrent. Depends on how long it's been. How many times he done got caught for weed. Three misdemeanors equal up to a felony where I'm from. That's coming with DUIs and all that. So what I'm saying is, you got to understand what you're putting yourself into. I know this young guy. He was a two-time loser, but somebody had ratted on him. He had got caught with like 20 pounds of Reggie. They get that boy 20 years
God damn.
behind
So he's
behind weed, dog.
golly.
I was like, weed carry that much time? Bitch, I'm scared to too much smoking, man. Fuck that.
That's true. But then you see how America, quote unquote, America is trying to be progressive on weed, trying to make it, certain states, even though, I live on the West Coast, like a lot of the West Coast states, we're trying to legalize it, normalize it. The NCAA has normalized it basically down to you can smoke a blunt a week, 150 nanograms per milliliter. But that doesn't mean that states have to, honor that. You know what I mean? Like what happened with that girl, Sha'Carri Richardson. She wanted to smoke right before the Olympic trials, and then what happened? They found her piss test, and she got kicked off the team. So weed is a very touchy subject because it's legal in certain places, not legal in others. Legal in college sports and to an extent, but then as a professional athlete, like I mentioned earlier, there's weed maps for this. You could do weed maps. You could do anything else, and my bad. You guys got it.
Nah, but listen to this. Long as even down here in the South, long as it's under 28 grams, they're gonna give you a citation for it. And it's not legal down here. They still let you have your freedom, but when you ride with 2, 3 pounds across state lines, that's something totally different down here, boy. Angola bound.
Oh shoot, that's ain't that in Louisiana? Ain't that the Louisiana Penitentiary?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm not, and I'm not. I'm shoot. I'm very. My family's in Louisiana and Mississippi, and a little bit in Arkansas, so I'm a little bit familiar. But I don't know the drug laws out there. Like I'm Californian. It's a little bit lax out here, a little bit lax. But in Kentucky, I know that's a heavy Republican state. There's a lot of Republican counties and everything. The DAs, and plus, I would never want to take it to a trial because you know what that you're going to be looking at. It's a lot of pale faces that are going to be on that, on that jury. You know what I mean? And that's not going to look good, despite your status as a person, as a citizen here. You're an NBA player and everything. They're not. I don't know if they're going to look at that and just be like, oh well, he's an NBA player. This is why he was able to purchase this. And now I don't know if he gets leeway like that. And then don't they also have to include if you've done prior crimes or any kind of prior incidences as well?
I don't know where y'all went, but yeah, man, this
No,
dude,
I'm
man, this
still
dude
here. I
was
thought he was talking. I didn't know he fell out. My
Oh,
bad.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
oh no, I was asking a question. That was the question I was trying to ask you guys. Like, aren't they going to include like if he got caught in the past with other things outside of weed? Like, don't they hold all those things? Yeah, like because when you go to court, they're going to run the record for everything. Like they include everything. Like, oh well, he did this in the past. He did this in the past. I'm like, if he did certain things or actions in the past, won't they even try to help use that to strengthen their case and you know what I mean, things like that?
Well, technically, if it did, well, this is the thing. You gotta understand what's up, Stephen Brown. Salute to you. And me give these shout outs real quick. You know what I'm saying? Before I answer that, who is up in here? My brother Courtney Washington, that guy Spencer, Stephen Brown. What's up with y'all, man? Salute to all y'all in the building, man. Make sure you hit that like button and share these videos, bro. All right. So could they hold what happened in the past against Montrezl Harrell and all that? Um, Unfortunately, they do. Regardless if it happened in another state or not, unfortunately, when it comes to black people, they will compile everything that you did, and they will throw all that in the fray um when it comes to your case. And the reason for that is because they're trying to characterize you as a certain type of person to get a certain type of decision from the judge. Now, what you did in the past should have no bearing on the charge at hand. technically, idealistically speaking, it should have absolutely nothing to do with what the issue was that you were busted for. But unfortunately, when you're dealing with the enforcement arm of white supremacy, they're trying to frame things in a way to characterize you in a certain way so that way it can induce a certain type of verdict from the judge and or the jury. Because see, you got to understand when it comes to lawyers, their job is to win cases, regardless of the facts, regardless of the evidence, regardless, they don't give a fuck about none of that shit.
Facts.
Their job is to win cases. And whatever kind of
Get that
we
conviction.
see it all the time. We've seen black folks go to jail for decades over crimes they didn't commit. And we've seen prosecutors withhold evidence. We've seen prosecutors refuse to bring a certain key witness to the stand that would have exonerated a certain person. We've seen all these sneaky, dirty, underhanded, backdoor deal and oil field type tactics that they employ to induce a certain type of result.
That's true. We've seen that several times where they've withheld information that I think that's happened recently where they, certain when they always what is it, the Innocence Project, which has been going on, and they've actually been looking at cases in the past and they found out that this case should never continue forward because of withheld evidence. So that is true.
But my thing is, if you Montrezl Harrell, right, you already shot yourself in the foot once by turning down a max contract to go chase a ring, which what my brother James like to call LeBron the role player, right?
Correct.
I
You
remember
did,
when
yeah.
James first
Hey,
said that,
see,
man. I
calm
remember
as a
when
bitch.
James first called him the
Lord
role
bless you
player,
with
man.
$100 million contract, LB, before you finish, and your stupid ass turned it down to get 3 pounds of weed to get caught up. That's what I look at it as. If you would have turned that $100 million deal down, and then your ass had to go to Charlotte anyway, where you should have went from Jump Street. That's why I say, man, life is like a fucking boomerang. Whatever you toss out there, that
It
bitch
comes
will
right
come
back.
back and cut you in your fucking head. Believe that.
I can believe that. That is true. That is true. I've seen it. I experienced it, seen it. You are right, James, and you are right, LB. That is true.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? This is a crooked world we live in, man. But I remember when James first called LeBron a role player, man. He threw the internet in a freaking tizzy, man. Man, people got big mad that James called LeBron a role player. Like people was big mad. But anyway, that the fact of the matter is, Montrezl
Go
Harrell
ahead,
is a
LB.
dummy. He's a big dummy. Period.
How much is I don't want to wish bad luck on nobody. But looking at the 3 pounds, looking at the situation at hand, the traveling, the trafficking, I don't know if they're gonna hit it with a RICO act because he buy sell RICO as far as with gang members, 4 or more members. You know
Well,
what I
we
mean?
need to
Three or
know.
more.
Well, James, here's
So
my question. If
if
he was caught in
they hit him
Kentucky,
with the trafficking, he could be over with. That means he got to kick out a lot of bread just to get a lawyer to say it was only for consumption use. But who go buy 3 pounds of weed just to smoke? I don't know nobody. I'm gonna
and
fuck who it
this,
is.
and let's just say like because the state above it is Tennessee, I believe, or Tennessee is right below or above it. It's right they're in connection. So that's why I was stating earlier, like if he purchased it from another state and then he got caught in Kentucky, he's gonna have to face the interstate charge. That's a felony.
Yeah,
Then
that's an
with intent
automatic
to
felony trafficking.
Then you got intent to sell with distribution. We're looking at three. Because when that docket is going to look like 7 felonies, that docket, they're going to try to make one of them stick. They're going to put all like 6, 7 felonies, and then they as a prosecutor, I just need one of these to stick to win. So their conviction rate is going to stay high. So I'm trying to total up even in my mind what he's actually about to face because it's not just one. Like it's probably going to be 6 or 7 charges with everything totaled up, and that's you can't beat 6 or 7 felonies.
See, the whole thing about that, I'm glad you brought that up. What young kids don't understand when they chose this life and try to take that fast money, you can have 9 charges, like you said. It's gonna be more than one charge. Distribution, intent to distribute, all kind of shit. Trafficking. You got try to swerving in and out of lanes, or made them pull you over for whatever reason. So you'll have 4, 5 charges on there. 4 of them motherfuckers come back not guilty, but if one come back guilty, out all 4 of those or 5 of those charges, you still gonna do some type of time. You need the whole slate clean. So how you gonna clean the whole slate when you got caught red-handed? That's all I'm saying. So
That's the thing.
what we looking at right now as Montrezl Harrell as a basketball player, now we gotta look at him as a totally different light. Because we don't know what he gonna do to get out this situation. I ain't saying he no snitching, I ain't putting no label on nobody, but I'm just saying, man.
I mean,
Yeah,
and
I mean,
the next
because
thing is, unless you want to give up your connect, because my next thing is you know what the prosecutors and people are going to ask, or what his lawyers, where did you purchase this? You know, where did you purchase the product at? If he lies, or if you know, what do you do at that point? Because he can't. I don't know if he could say he picked it up in Tennessee and was traveling through, because then he won't catch the interstate charge. He will get the trafficking though, because
yeah,
you're
they're gonna get him
driving
for
around the.
trafficking, but they won't. But if he bought it in a state where weed is legal, right? They can't charge him for some shit that's out of state. They get him for trafficking, yeah, because but they can't get him for some shit for another state legalizing marijuana and all that, or not
Here's
legalizing,
we'll
or
put it like this, like.
decriminalizing it.
Well, let's say like he got it in New York, because I know New York they've legalized weed, and then he gets caught in Kentucky. Now, according to the law, he could get interstate charges because you crossed multiple states and you had that product, and then you ended up getting arrested in their state because you crossed so many state lines. That's why I'm wondering if did he purchase it in Kentucky, or if not, did he purchase it in like Tennessee, or any of the neighboring states? Because I wonder that interstate charge, that is a heavy one. And then like James said, he can also get RICO charges on this as well, depending if he traveled through multiple states. So that's my only question: did you purchase it in Kentucky, or if it was out of state? Because dude, his docket's gonna be like, if that is with multiple states, that docket's like 9 felonies, 8 felonies. You know what I mean? And any prosecutor is gonna win this because he got caught red-handed. Now just and like they said, like James said, it's gonna be 8 or 9. He only prosecutor only needs one charge to win. I only need one.
Yep.
Oh, Terry, I'm glad you brought that up because this is another thing you got to look at. Well, how long this shit been going on? Because this is not his first time doing that shit. I'm quite sure. I
I
guarantee
mean, look
you
at
it's
his
not.
lips, James. You know that ain't this first dance around the barn. Look at his lips. His lip is black as charcoal, bro.
That nigga lips crooked and everything. Like, that bitch bad could talk. Look at him. He just look retarded. Like, he rode the yellow bus and he ain't had no helmet.
No, I understand that is true. That is true. If he's been doing it, and like they say, it's like he's probably been doing it for a while, and then he just got caught this time. So I mean, it could have been going on for a while,
Hey,
and
you think a
now
nigga set him up?
But
That could
my
be a
thing is,
setup.
if it went on for a while, they can't bring that up in court because if he hadn't got charged with it, they can't bring that up.
No, they can't do it like that. But this is what I'm saying. Peep this out. I do know this for a fact. If you traveling on the highway from state to state, I don't know if you're a felon, got a conviction or whatever on his resume, got it sealed or whatever, how it better go. You know how you get your shit expunged and you can't see it. But at the end of the day, we don't know how long this been going on. Have you got caught before? We only going off what we know now. So this is
Right.
what I'm saying. I know for a fact on the road coming from Texas to New Orleans, 10 years mandatory. That's what the bid start off at. Get caught with anything. I don't give a fuck what it is. It could be an ounce of coke, an ounce of weed. It ain't legal down here. They ain't talking about no consumption, use, or none of that. Then the people locking your ass up down here, boy. I'm talking about throwing away the key. Like I
damn.
say,
So that
and
means
going about.
if you pick up in Dallas, Texas, and you go to like Lafayette, Louisiana, that's automatic 10.
Hell yeah, that's trafficking. They're gonna hit you with the traffic. They're gonna
Oh
straight hit
wow.
you with the trafficking. Like y'all got it sweet because it's legal out there. So you can hold up to like a certain amount and they'll give you a slap on the wrist of citation, especially if you got your cannabis card. Down here
Yeah,
ain't none of that. Ain't none of
that's
that
true.
down here.
If you have your cannabis card, and if the weed is still sealed, like you know what I mean, if it's still sealed in the actual like medical bag or everything, and you have your cannabis card, like you just cannot. I mean, just don't drive high. You know what I mean? Because they'll hit you with the DWI, driving while intoxicated. I mean, and that's overnight. They're gonna keep you overnight. Your car might get impounded. You got to go get it out. I understand that, but they won't let you out. You got a court date, everything else like that. But in this case, like and in other states, that's why I'm like, what I would wonder, like, is America, are they fully going to embrace marijuana, or are they just only certain states you can really do it in? Because a lot of these Republican states, like where you're at, I believe James, if you're in Louisiana, like I'm not sure if you guys are And like, I'm not sure if you guys are ever gonna like possibly legalize it, anything else like that. Like, I know certain other states, I know they're not gonna legalize it, like, like Missouri, Kentucky, like they haven't made no progress towards it. But you see what I mean? Like, what is this now do for, like, the weed movement? Is it only
But
a
see,
West Coast thing?
but Terry, Kentucky they have a Democratic governor. They ain't got no Republican governor. Their governor's a Democrat.
See,
But
I don't
ain't the
know about
state?
all that,
But ain't
LB.
but
That's
ain't
why I
but
be
ain't
trying
the
to
state?
cook with you to learn
But
about
ain't the
who
state?
Republicans and Democrats, what state. So
But ain't
we
the
got to
state
find that
red
out too,
though?
because that's gonna be important to this case too. Depends on how heavy it is for a Democrat or Republican. That'll determine the fact of his fate in the judge's hand too. You know what I mean? He gonna have to kick out some bread,
Oh
which
yeah,
I'm quite sure. Dog, that's why he doing what he doing, because he missed out on that $110 million that he passed up on. Dog, like I say, life is a fucking boomerang. You got to know what you're throwing out there in order to get back. What you give out is what you receive. So that shit only gonna come back and haunt you. A nigga can rat on you. A nigga, you don't know if a nigga ratted on him, set him up, or anything. We don't know the full details of this story. But the only thing we got to go off with, he got caught with 3 pounds of weed, which we know that's fucking illegal. Now, what they gonna do to him or what they gonna do about it, we have yet to determine that. Because I done seen niggas put up money and try to buy cases, and in 20 years turn to 7 and 10 because they kicked out a little extra bread. But you can't buy time no more. So the only thing that's gonna do is shave time off your record. Like, I had a little partner, he coming back from Texas. He found a plug. It was like 2007, $100 a pound. I mean, he was getting 100 pounds for $75 a pop. He hooked up with this Mexican plug. Now he ran this bitch for 3 years, dog. No bullshit. All of a sudden, the own plug ratted on him. This nigga had so much bread he accumulated over the 2 years. He paid so much money on lawyer fees, trying to get a judge, money under the table, sending him and his wife on vacation, because they still take bribes here and there. Depends on who you is and what kind of lawyer you got. That fucking 20 years turned to 7, nigga. Nigga did 7 in the feds and came home. Easy.
I
The
I could
state
I
dropped
could
it and
tell
the feds picked it up.
I could tell you one worse out here in California. I know a friend. I guess he was facing attempted murder, and this is how crooked the judge was. I guess the family kicked out $250,000 and, like, I guess a few gold rings, and they said, "We'll drop the case. He can no longer stay in the state." So now he lives in Portland. He lives in Portland, Oregon. They just said that he can no longer stay in the state. The judge dropped everything, but he said he can't stay in California no more. And so there are
That's a whole
crooked
nother
judges
thing.
that do that.
They'll railroad you that way. Like, if they know they're giving you privileges already, you don't have to sneak and do nothing. You know what I mean? So when they do catch you in the wrong, that's a harder consequence. No bullshit. They gonna make a message. They gonna send a message, I mean, and they gonna make an example out your ass. Only because of your skin color, Montrezl. You fucked up, my brother. I just hope you make it out this bitch with no scars and you really get a slap on the wrist. You feel what I'm saying? I don't wish no bad luck on you in this situation. I promise to God, because I come from that life. I seen a lot of people lose their freedom and took them away from their family and kids behind trying to make an honest dollar because of minimum wage reasons of the low poverty area they live in there, because they had to make those decisions and choices, which, people don't want to work for minimum wage. You know what I mean? Minimum wage ain't number 10, $13, man. You can't do nothing with that when gas went up through the roof. You done raised
Shit,
rent
in
up since all the
In
hurricanes.
California, minimum wage is 15. But then what the hell is 15 when gas is 6.89, 6.99,
Thank you.
and then
So
you
you
got
ain't
Big
doing
Mac
nothing.
combos that are 9.59. So I can't even buy, like, Big Mac combos and everything at McDonald's are about to be $10. Like, literally out here in California. So that's why I be telling people, like, the money that we make, it's not like even though our minimum wage is high, dude. Our gas is 6.89 right now at the minimum. We're talking 87 at the pump. 80, not even 91. 91 is going to run you 709. You don't even want to put that in your car. And then all of a sudden, you go to Big
Well, I
Mac.
hate to see
I
y'all
mean,
93 then. How much y'all 93 is? $20?
shit, you're looking at 719. I've seen prices
This way I
719,
use my bank card.
729.
I don't get use 90 or higher. I use 93.
You know what I mean? Like, our stuff is really high out here. So don't, like, when we talk about minimum wage, like, I'd be like, in California, our minimum wage is 15, but shit, everything else is expensive. Gas, freaking McDonald's, Jack in the Box is expensive now. Now we don't have a 2 for $5 deal. Everything is 2 for $6.50.
Yeah,
Everything is now,
Chick-fil-A
again, two chicken sandwiches for
next to my.
$6.50. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
you
ain't
know,
cheap. Ain't nothing cheap no more. Hey,
Hey,
Derek, what
what
you
the
got?
McDouble almost $3 now. I mean,
Huh?
it's just I was saying a McDouble almost $3 fucking now, but y'all know me, I don't cover basketball. If LB didn't talk about it, or these dudes just doing crazy things though, but this is just a terrible situation for him to be in. I mean, they saying he got caught with that amount of weight, so we don't know how he gonna get out of this, because just like the brother earlier was saying, you can't really get your way out of here like you used to back in the day when you have cases like this, especially if you have the money. But we don't know how he gonna get out of this. So with all these felony charges he got, he better be hoping and praying that he can cut a deal or something. But you know how these judges is when it comes to black folks, you know, and especially if they can catch you red-handed. So no telling how long he been doing this. We don't know if they had any surveillance on him or any wiretaps, along with his connect or with him, moving back and forth with the drug. But we'll just have to wait and see.
And Zach Randolph, we remember. Hold on, I
I
saw
agree
how
with
they
that.
mentioned
I
Zach.
agree
I
with
gotta
that.
say this: Zach Randolph got caught out here at the Avalon Gardens in L.A. He got caught with that. They let him skate. Now Zebo, he's I don't know if he's from Los Angeles or anything, but I remember the Zach Randolph case. He got caught with that stuff out in the Nickerson Avalon Gardens, and he gets love out there in the L.A. hood. The officers out there, they let his ass skate. So you know what I mean? Like that's to be honest. I remember that case. And I was like, he got caught out here in the Nickersons. Then we found out, you know what I mean? It was basically a slap on the wrist. He had a heavy fine. You don't really, I mean, you serve jail time just because they got to take you in, take the picture, everything else like that. He bails out. Then, you get your lawyer and everything. They let his ass escape. He got a heavy fine, probably a little bit of probation, 36, 48 months, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't think they cut them deals anymore like that no more. You know what I mean?
Well, it
Yeah, they
Hey,
varies
they
don't,
state by
don't.
man.
state.
They don't.
It varies state by state too. You know what I'm saying? You got one jurisdiction that might act one way, and then you got another jurisdiction that they might be totally by the book, especially if you're black. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. You can't be out here bribing niggas like it's
That's
the
my
80s.
only fear though, LB, y'all. The skin color that he have, and just saying Caruso go through that shit in the state of Texas where we know it ain't legal. Did they ever bring up anything? We ain't hear about that case ever again after that. We ain't hear
Nope,
about no
you ain't heard
court
nothing
dates.
about it after
We
that
ain't hear
again.
about no nothing, no fines and fees. Was he facing jail time? Boy went signed a multi-million-dollar contract for Chicago like he ain't never did nothing. But watch how they prolong this, keep it in the news. When I seen that shit, buku shit just came to my phone from the Houston News. An NBA star
That was
gets
a
caught
year
in
ago.
Kentucky with pounds and shit. I'm like, hold up, LB doing a video on this shit right now. So everybody about to start talking about this shit. Watch, keep it out. The internet about to go crazy behind this.
And
Hey,
I
that
don't
happened
like
a
how.
year ago. We heard that case a year ago, and we ain't heard nothing ever. We ain't heard but no follow up. We ain't heard but no trial. We ain't know if he got
Yeah,
community
this my first time
service.
hearing about it.
I wouldn't be surprised, if he had his attorney do some kind of backdoor deals in oil fields and the case got thrown.
Yeah, he threw a
I,
couple dollars at the
I
judge.
slipped
It
I slipped
got
him
funded
200.
and shit.
Slipped the jet 250,000 and maybe a chain or a good Rolex watch. $300,000 Rolex with a Timex. Of course, like
Yeah,
all
give him
right,
a couple strippers and shit. Grease up the palms and stuff. It'll go good.
and it's happened. We've seen it. It's happened before. It's happened multiple times, and it's like I don't think in this case, like, but 3 pounds, and this is like, bro, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like with the amount of felonies that could really be attached, and me and James, we've even dialogued, spoken about it. Like he's possibly facing 7, 8 because that docket when it hits the judge's stand, it's going to be felony, potential felony charges. Now you got to beat all that, and you can't because you're caught with the product in your car and it's not even in the trunk. That was the
Hey, they
thing. He
coming
needed
with
it
10
in the
off the
trunk.
gate. Listen,
nah,
it's gonna be a 10-year sentence, probably suspended 5 years pay for some shit like that. By him
damn.
being a player that he really is, if he get the treatment that he's supposed to get, he gonna be on paper about 5 years. They're gonna be a
You think?
slap on the
Nah,
wrist
I don't
for
think
him,
them
but
going.
No, I don't think it's
Dude,
gonna
with
be
three
that severe
pounds, they
because
can't give him they can't do the 60-day rehab, and we're gonna give you the basically call it summation of your sentence. We're basically gonna suspend it, but just don't
I'm
do it
just
again
hoping
in a
for the
certain
best
amount
though.
of
That's
time.
why I said that. I'm hoping for the
You can
best.
do that.
I just seen all kind of
yeah,
shit in these court systems.
I can see a scenario. Realistically, do I see him doing jail time over this? Probably not. If he do, he might do like 6 months to a year. Well, I
Yeah,
think
that's what
most
I'm
likely what's
saying.
going
He
to
gonna
happen
do at
is
least. He gonna do 18 months off the dump if they give him any kind of time,
right.
close to 2.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Shit, that's still
So,
a lot of
but
time.
if they don't give him
Yeah,
time, right? I can see this. I can see this scenario. They probably get, he probably got to pay a huge fine.
he gonna have to run
Probably
that
do some
cheese.
community service. Hey, look,
Little
don't do this shit
anti-drug commercials
again.
and shit.
You know what I'm saying? You do this again, then we really gonna throw the book at you. So if you can
Thanks.
keep your nose clean for like a year, probably like 2 years, pay this fine, do this community service, your charge go away. Boom,
Shit, that's
done
a
deal.
win-win for him. Getting caught with 3 pounds, shit, I'll take that all day. I'll be like Ti on the hotlines and shit. This what happens when y'all be on out selling drugs and shit. I'll be doing so many Dare commercials. Man, 10 years, nigga. Hell no.
He most likely could be facing, like, when you total up all the felony charges, what could be happening, and what information has needs to be explained or shown. He could be facing 10, but then, as being a prominent, like I said, a prominent citizen, you're an NBA athlete. Like, you know how they always cut them the deals, like same thing like entertainers always cut them deals, everything else like that. So it could happen, but it's just what you're potentially facing, and now you got to make better decisions in life.
Yeah, you got to, man. Because you can't be out here doing that. Then once you get caught, you just don't have to face the consequences. Because you got to be an example to these kids. You being an NBA player and stuff. You just can't be setting a bad example. But we don't know what situation this brother was in for him to do that. Because like I said, I don't cover basketball at all on my channel, so y'all know way more stuff about it. So I just hope everything work out with the brother, and I hope they don't throw the book at.
If it was a common man like me, oh yeah, we're getting the whole book thrown at me,
Yeah,
at us.
nigga, we doing jail time. You know, kid straight.
No, we're doing
They
Fed
gonna
time,
be
not jail time. This is Fed time. That's Fed.
any time is not a good thing for
Yeah,
me
but
or
Fed's gonna
anybody
snatch
else.
that from the state so quick, it ain't gonna be nothing.
I don't want to see neither. I like my freedom. That's why I go to work every day. Fuck that.
Shit, you feel me? I like to make a little bit of money. Like, I live out here on the West Coast. I like to make my little bit of money, pay my rents, pay all my utility bills, cable bill, internet bill, everything, cell phone bill. Then, I like to, whatever I have, a little bit extra, save some for gas, save some for everything. Then, I like to get my little smoke on a little bit, but not to the point where I might buy, like, I think the most I really buy is like 14 grams, a half ounce, because, they get cheaper when you go to the dispensary. But it's not like I'm riding around in it. That thing stays literally right next to my bedside. I don't even bring anything. I don't even have anything in my car. I don't even like cigarettes in my car. Anything, you know what I mean? Like, come on, you know what I mean? We got to start making smarter decisions. And
Yeah.
plus, they got weed maps. He could have had it delivered. They're nationwide. He could have had that much weight. As long as he was willing to pay the price of the credit, or his debit card, credit card, it goes through. Dude, they could have delivered it. Give them an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, because they got to count up everything, and then they'll drop it off to you. And
That
Weed
would have
Maps
been
is
way better.
nationwide.
Hell yeah. I
See,
just don't like
like,
the smell of this shit. I never been cool with like weed and stuff, but with the recession, people gonna do what they gotta do. I ain't never doubted anybody.
no, I feel you. It's just, man, I want to wonder, like, because because I know more information has to come out, and it's just looking bad right now. And like I said, the only thing is, if you had accessories, if they say that there was a scale in the bag or a scale in the car, there's nothing you can do, dude. Because that means that you are intent to distribute, you are intent to sell. You're basically looking like the dealer, like the dope man. So if I just want to find out, I understand you have the product, you caught them with that. What else was in there? Because I want to get the full scope. Because then, I've had homies that did this, so it's
Okay.
looking bad. And then what is the NBA gonna do? Because what is that, substance abuse? Is he gonna face substance abuse policy? You know how he's got to get? Is there a suspension for substance abuse as well?
Yeah, man, that's one thing we hadn't talked about yet. That's one thing we hadn't talked about yet. Because the NBA is going to do their investigation and all that, and really, they really don't need any kind of evidence and all that. But at the same time, I think if they wait until the process play out, and then they go levy their suspension towards Montrezl Harrell. And then on top of that, he's an unrestricted free agent, as I alluded to earlier in the stream, and that you're gonna have teams that might have any kind of remote interest. I mean, because the market for him is probably gonna be dried up with this stuff going on. So if there was some kind of interest, he won't get
Down.
nowhere near the money he think he was looking for. There's
You
probably
have
gonna
to
be
take
some
what you
league
can get.
minimum 1 year deal, if that. But he fucked himself on this one.
Yeah. How much his contract? How much money he was gonna get in his contract?
Well, for veterans, it goes by the veteran minimum depends on how much time you had in the NBA and all that.
Okay.
But they can sign you for however they want to sign you for. But Rich Paul, because he's a Clutch Sports client under Rich Paul, so
Okay.
it'll be interesting to see what Rich Paul will do to try to get a market for Montrezl Harrell, and if there is a market for him, because he can score the ball and all that. He's a high energy player, but he's a defensive liability, a huge defensive liability, especially on the pick and roll. So with that being said, we just got to see how this plays out in the coming weeks and months. The new league year starts, I think sometime next month, because the draft is next week or in a couple weeks. The NBA draft is a couple weeks, so the new league year for the NBA is not very far away, when they can start, signing free agents and making trades and all that. And we've seen some trades go down, but they won't become official till the new league year starts. But anyway,
Dude, that's not enough time because in courts they take at least minimum 3 months to develop a court case, get a jury, everything. Unless they're already going to have a package deal for a plea deal, and I don't know what the plea deal is going to include, because it might include a little bit of time. Hopefully, it's just community service, fines, but you know what I mean. Like, he's going to have to wait time because they're not, the cases in courts. You already know they don't move fast as foot. You know what I mean? They drag it on. At least you're looking at least minimum 3 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. They're gonna use long enough time to drag this shit out, for the media can, get their news on it. So,
You're right. No, go ahead, LB. My bad. And I want to say, hey, thank you to James. Thank you to LB. And what's your name? What's the other individual who is just speaking right now?
Eric Johnson.
All right, I'll call you Mr. Jackson. Well, it was always a pleasure to always dialogue with you guys. Just finish up a few things here where I'm at. And, it's always, I just heard about this situation. It's always great to dialogue with you, gentlemen. And like I always say, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and have a great rest of your week, gentlemen.
You too, man.
you too, brother. I appreciate you for coming in. Always good to see you come in, Eric Johnson. Salute to you, my brother.
You're
Appreciate you
welcome,
for
man.
coming up in here, always chopping up with your man as always. If you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share these videos on your social media platforms. And I'm gonna come back here a little bit later on and talk about, the art of the grift, how Donald Trump out here playing people for suckers and all that. So be on the lookout for
Yeah,
that
you know I'm
video.
gonna be there. You know I'm gonna
Huh?
be at this video. You gotta hear about old Dookie things out here finessing people out of hundreds of millions of dollars. They want to talk about black folks being the pimp. He the ultimate pimp out here because he getting all the money.
Damn right. So y'all have a good one. This your man. Scream at me. Oh!